Good morning, my dear children. Welcome back to math session. All of you, please take out your textbook. We are doing lesson number 9. How many times? I have given you homework of this practice time. I hope you all have done this and all have understood how to do the multiplication of 2-digit number with 1-digit number. Now, let us move on to some of the word problems given here. First guess the answer and then calculate. Here some word problems are being given. Here what you have to do is you have to first guess the answer and find the correct answer after calculating. First question given here is a flower has 5 petals. A bunch of flowers has 13 flowers. How many petals are there in the bunch? The question given here is, you can see here, a flower has 5 petals. So here a bunch of flowers are being given and each flower is having 5 petals. How many petals? 5 petals for each flower. Otherwise a single flower is having 5 petals. And a bunch of flowers has 13 flowers. Here a bunch or bouquet of flowers are given and in that bunch there are 13 flowers. For each flower how many petals are there? There are 5 petals and total how many flowers? 13 flowers. So we have to find out the number of petals in the bunch. We have to find out the total number of petals for 13 flowers. Okay. Here this 5 is being repeated how many times? 13 times. So 13 times 5 we have to find out. Before that we have to first guess the answer. Okay. So 13 is between 10 and 20. You know that 13 is between 10 and 20. So 10 times 5 is 50. So 13 is more than 10. So the answer will be more than 50 because 10 times 5 is 50 and 20 times 5 is 100. So 13 is less than 20. So the answer will be less than 100. So the answer will be more than 50 and less than 100. This is a guess what we have made. For exam, no need of doing the guess, just directly you can move on to the answer. Let us see how we can solve this problem. See the answer. Number of flowers in a bunch. How many flowers are there in the bunch? There are 13 flowers. Okay. And number of petals for a flower. How many petals are there for the flower? There are 5 petals for each flower. So 5 is repeating 13 times. Before 13 flowers are there and 5 petals for each flower. So the total number of petals is equal to 13 times 5. How much? 13 times 5 because the total number of flowers 13 and number of petals for each flower 5. So 13 times 5. 5 is being repeated 13 times. Okay. So let us do the multiplication by expansion of numbers because this is 2 digit into 1 digit. So this 2 digit number should be written in expanded form. That is 13 can be written as 10 plus 3 for easy multiplication. As we studied in the last session how to do the multiplication of 2 digit number with 1 digit number. First we have to expand the 2 digit number. So 13 can be written as 10 plus 3. Okay. So first this 10 should be multiplied with 5, then that answer should be added with the number what we get after multiplication of 3 and 5. Let us see how we can do this. So 10 into 5. This 13 we have written in expanded form as 10 plus 3. So first number is 10. 10 should be multiplied with 5. You have to write the bracket because the number which is given in the bracket should be done first. Then after that only you should do the addition which is given, addition symbol which is given on the middle of the question. Okay. So 10 into 5 plus next number is 3. 3 into 5. So how much is 10 5s are? 10 5s are 50 plus 3 5s are 15. So the answer is 50 plus 15 how much? 50 plus 10 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. So the total number of petals for 13 flowers are 65 petals. Okay. Now let us move on to the next question. See, a book has 64 pages. How many pages are there? 64 pages for a book. You all are having notebooks as well as textbooks. The pages are different. The number of pages vary, but in the notebook the number of pages are the same. Likewise, here there is a book and it is having 64 pages. What will be the total number of pages in 8 such books? How many books are there? There are 8 books. So each book is having 64 pages. Okay, so we have to find the total number of pages for 8 books. Okay, one book how many pages? 64, and the total number of books are 8. Here we are not going to do the guess, we are directly moving on to the answer. You can make a guess like this. Okay, so here we can directly move on to the answer. Let us see how we can do the solution or how we can do the calculation of this question. Number of pages in each book. How many pages are there in each book? There are 64 pages in each book. And number of books. How many books are there? There are 8 books. Okay. So the total number of pages, we have to find out the total number of pages for the book. See here. One book, 64 pages. Number of books, 8. That means 8 times 64 is repeating, because the number of book is 8 and the pages of book is 64. So 8 times 64 is repeating. From the picture you can see that here the books are there. Each book 64 pages. So 8 times it is repeating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is 8 times 64 is repeating. 64 plus 64 plus 64. Like this 8 times we have to write. So 64 is repeating 8 times, that is 8 into 64. Vice versa also you can write 64 into 8 is also correct. Okay, this 64 is, we are going to write it in expanded form to do the multiplication. Okay, how we can write the 64 in expanded form? 64 means 60 plus 4, isn't it? 64 is 60 plus 4. Now we can do the multiplication. Okay, 60 into 8, first number is 60. So 60 multiplied by 8 plus 4 into 8. Okay, so 60 multiplied by 8, otherwise 6 8s are, how much is 6 8s are? 6 8s are 48. So 68 will 60 into 8 will be 480. You have to put this 0 in the answer. First you have to, if there is a 0 in the question, that means if the number is given or the number having 0 in its ones place, avoid that number, do the multiplication of other numbers, and in the answer put that 0 in the ones place. Here 6 8s are 48. There is a 0 in the question because it is 60 not 6. So that 0 should be written in the answer. Okay, this is multiplication by tens. Okay, so 6 8s are 48. So 68 will be 480 plus 4 8s are, how much is 4 8s are? 4 8s are 32. Now we can add this 480 plus 32. Otherwise you can do the mental calculation like this: 480 plus 30 plus 2, that is equal to 480 plus 30 is 510 plus 2. What is the answer? You will get the answer 512. So the total number of pages in 8 books are 512. Okay, how? I will explain once more. One book is having 64 pages and the total number of books 8. So 8 into 64. This can be written as 64 into 8 as per order property of multiplication. You can interchange the place of the numbers. This answer will be the same or product will be the same. So 64 into 8, we are going to do 64 into 8. 64 is divided as or written in expanded form as 60 plus 4. First one, 60 into 8 plus 4 into 8. 60 into 8 you will get the answer 480 and 4 8s are 32. So 480 plus 32, we are again doing mental max here in the expanded form. 480 plus 30 plus to this 32, again we are writing as 30 plus 2 in the expanded form for mental max calculation. You have already learned in this how to do the mental max calculation in the previous lessons. So 480 plus 30 is equal to 510. How? 48 plus 3 is 51. So 480 plus 30 you will get 510 plus 2. 510 plus 2 you will get the answer 512. Okay. So the answer is 512 pages. So there are 512 pages for 8 books. Okay. Now next question you can see here. Students stand in rows in the assembly. There are 6 rows of students. Each row has 12 students. How many students are there? So you can see the students standing in the row. How many rows are there? There are 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. And in each row 17 students are there. So 6 times 17 you have to find out. This you have to do as homework. You have to find the answer 6 times 17. I will show the explanation in the next class, but try to do this question as homework. Find out the answer. Next question also you have to do as homework. A design has 3 flowers in it. A piece of cloth has 17 such designs. How many flowers will be there on the cloth? So you have to do 17 times 3 because 17 is repeating. Sorry, 3 times 17 times 3 or 3 times 17 into 3 you have to find out because 3 is repeating 17 times. So 17 times 3 you have to find out. 17 into 3. Okay. So this and this one you have to do as homework. I'll show the explanation in the next class, but try to do by yourself and find the answer. So by tomorrow, in the tomorrow's class, I will show the explanation and I will write the answer. You can check it out whether it is right or not, whether which you have done and what the answer I am doing here both are correct or not. Okay. So try to do both the questions answer as homework. No need of writing the steps. Just write the answer here. I will show the explanation by steps. Okay. So let us wind up the session for today. Thank you.